The Center for Environmental Sustainability and Development Awareness has called on the federal government to develop new strategies for curbing open defecation. The executive director of the center, Olushola Babalola, made this call while addressing newsmen in Abuja at a public presentation on the outcome of a report on open defecation. Babalola, while urging the public to take collective responsibility for keeping the country clean, says there is a need to deviate from the habit of open defecation.
In some of these public places, they lack toilet facility, and in some places they don't have water supply. And we all know the effect of absence of water in the fight against open defecation. Even when you have a toilet and you don't have the water, it's as good as you don't have. So in markets and parks that we have visited, we find out that they have limited facility in terms of toilet. So oftentimes some of these facilities are not inclusive in the sense that yes, there are other category of people or classes of people that are in the market and motor parks, that are not people we call PWDs. So the issue of social inclusions are not even factored in some of this facility, which allows every category of people to make good use of the toilet. So where they have, that is not factored. A good example is the use of ramp. So in markets, in motor parks, you don't get to see things like that in the market. Then again, as much as government has invested a lot in terms of environmental sanitation, so you find out that they still need a lot to do in terms of budget and in terms of toilet deficit. So when you see some of these public utilities, the toilets available are not commensurate, to some of them. Some of them have, some they don't have at all. And we told you about the entire stretch of Kubwa-Gwarimpa, expressway. So where there are no public toilets. Yes, I know there are gas stations, filling stations, petrol stations along the way, which might probably have toilets, but these are not open, to the public. Maybe for the use of those that patronize, the filling station or their staff, as well. Then again, another thing we find out is that some of these issues that we are talking in terms of open defecation are attitudinal issues. There are some certain belief. Like take for example, when we interview people in the market, some of them are telling us that no matter how clean the toilet is, they don't subscribe to use it. Even if they use 10 gallons of Isa to sanitize the toilet, they are still not yet convinced to use it. Why? Because they feel they can, catch infection, as a regards of that. So it's more or less like attitudinal thing that we really need to, appeal, to the moral situation of people. Then let them know the cause effect of this open defecation that we are talking about. In the sense that if you don't use toilet, these are the attendant, effect of not using toilet. These are the attendant effect of open defecation in the society. The only way we can curb the menace of open defecation is to, make available toilets and ask people to use it. Because we have, seen where, in some of these, facilities, they have toilets, they don't have water. You understand? They have water, they are not making good use of the toilet. People do come around to mess it up because they don't put in place a good management and monitoring, plan to that effect. So what we are saying is that there must be a paradigm shift from, defecating openly, from shitting openly. Let me use the language that people understand. From to use of toilets. Keeping a clean environment is a multi-stakeholder issue. So that we need, as people, we need to join hands with government to make sure that we get rid of FCT of open defecation. So then again, we are equally appealing to the corporate bodies, the private bodies, to see how they can actually help in that way by synergizing with government, by synergizing with other groups like civil society organization to bring a lasting solution, to the issue of open defecation in FCT and in Nigeria as a whole.
Look at our beautiful country. We have spoilt it with our hand. Urinating on, you call it this devastating, Abi? Defecating. Urine, call it the correct name. People will be going. You don't do it in your house. You go to toilet in the road, on the road, you urinate everywhere. Look at from here, anyway. Partially, it's not their fault as such, because we have to do something. There's no toilet from here, all the way from here to Kubwa, no toilet. On the road, in the market, around us, people urinate around the market. They put dirty there, they don't pack. And the cholera is around the corner for our children. Underage children die because of this our responsibility. The best thing is for us to control ourselves. Don't spoil the town. Don't urinate anyhow. Get a place, no matter how bad it is. It doesn't mean you are so pressed. It's not good now. So my advice is that as we are helping ourselves, government should, as government is helping us, we should help ourselves. We are saying that there's no work, and this thing can create million jobs for Nigerians. They say there's no work. It's not true. There's work. We can create millions of jobs. Look at the little one I'm doing. I know how much I'm getting from it. So let us create job, build toilets. If government don't have money, let private people take up the responsibility, build toilets, and pay a token fee, a token fee, Abi, so that they use it to pay their salary. There's work. In Abuja, we can employ comfortably. We can employ 20,000 people in this town. The graduates don't have work. We can give them supervisor. Buy car. Do you know how much I'm getting for my own small toilet? I'm getting 15,000 every day. Yes, for 7 toilets. And I employed 5 men. They work from morning 5 o'clock to 4. The remaining one 4 to 10. I've created employment for people, and let us give employment to our people. This can give you employment even in the rural area. If we do this one, we can do it in this area council, in all the villages. If you go to Nyanya, go and see the middle of the road, dirty, everywhere is smelling. It's not good now. So I'm advising the government, if you don't have money, let private people take it and employ people, build toilets, not very close, not that you have to build it at random. Build toilets and let people use it and pay.
Impact of this open defecation is the vulnerability of the individuals in those vicinities or those areas to be exposed, to diseases. And one of it, can be what we have always seen: cholera, diarrhea, and again, apart from the physical diseases or communicable diseases that are actually open or vulnerable to the individuals in those society, again, you will find a connecting dot to the mental illnesses or mental disorders that these particular populations, are vulnerable to, especially as it concerns maybe the pregnant population, the pregnant mothers or the nursing mothers. We've always talked about the issue of postpartum depression. There are a lot of risk factors or causative factors that can lead to all of this. However, this again is another factor that we should not excuse. All this open defecation, how it can lead to anxiety, how it can lead to some great concerns that can impact on the mental health of the individuals living around these vicinities. It's very important because it's about it's not just about the health or the physical health of these individuals, but also the mental health of this one.
The issue of water, sanitation and health is actually very important. So they have focused their project on open defecation and the effect of open defecation. We all know what it is. These are things that happen in our society. Everybody knows that once you defecate openly, you are exposing other people in the environment to certain dangers, So, and Like he has said during his presentation, sometimes it's as a result of non-availability of water or toilets for people to use. So it's a call to action for both citizens and government. Government, public utility, public toilets would be provided by government. Where government cannot provide it, public-private partnership, like they've said in this room, is very important. People can come up with ventures or interventions that would ensure that the service is there. I'm sure there would be people willing to pay for these services, and nobody wants to live in a dirty environment. It's just when people don't have alternatives, they don't have opportunities, that's when they take the extreme. And again, one very important thing that I think we should be emphasizing on is punitive measures. To be honest, I think in Nigeria, we need to take drastic measures on the people who break the law, people who constitute nuisance in our society. This is really very important. It's not being mean when you ask somebody not to defecate openly and they argue with you, because it's not the right thing. I know that I will not do it. No matter how pressed I find myself, I will not do it. And when you find yourself in a very critical situation of need, you would find answers. So sometimes you probably would look around and you see a house where you can go into and say, please, can I use? That's being responsible. Like Mandate Health said earlier, I never thought about it, but it looks like people who are conditioned to do open defecation actually have mental health issues, just like he said. I think I would agree with him, because a sane person wouldn't just, if we look at it from a religious angle, from moral angle, from even our culture, I don't think these things, they are very abhorrent, and we need to start changing our mindset. People need to change their mindset and do the right thing, at least to protect the health of others, if not for yourself.